Hello and welcome back to me. Yes, it's been a week. Sorry about that. I've been very busy trying to catch up with everything, and I've not really had the motivation. I know there's lots of stories out there. In particular, the latest Ferrari of BS coming from Rishi Washi regarding PIP. I've called this one Pip Pip Hooray because we know the fact is that Pip is on the target again. They've had a few years to worry about the rising costs of it when they transferred over everybody on DLA, and the main reason for that was to get rid of all the scroungers and all of the people claiming DLA who they thought should not be. In particular, those people with mental health issues, and they put them on to PIP. And of course, that was designed to be more stringent, and it had various assessments done by healthcare professionals. And I use that term very loosely because whereas before you could get a doctor to give you a report and fill in the form, nowadays, it's not even your GP doesn't get involved with any sort of involvement with PIP assessments or anything like that. It is people that don't know you. It is people who are dubiously qualified. For example, ex-ambulance people who may not well come across any sort of disabilities, but they are considered health professionals because they have worked in the medical field. Unfortunately, a lot of them have no experience of any sort of disability, and of course that's not really helped with the whole process. And then we have to look at the reasoning behind it, which is obviously the persecution of disabled people by the government and their desire to make us suffer, and that is a fact. Look at the last few years, 10-12 years, and you will see there are many thousands, dare I say, many millions of people who have suffered from having their benefits withdrawn or removed, and obviously people have been refused PIP when they apply. And quite clearly, when they go to court and they go to tribunal, the judge awards them what they actually applied for. So clearly, there's a process there which is not going right. And Rishi Washi highlighting the fact that they want to cut back on it. In fact, there was some talk the other day regarding that they were going to give you vouchers, which is one of their stupid ideas they have over the time period, but they obviously clearly have not thought about it very much. I don't personally think that will come in. I think that we are in a fear-mongering propaganda situation at the moment with Rishi Washi, because there's no way that he will get elected again, as far as I can tell. If he does, it'll be the same as Mr. Khan! Yes, you know, from Star Trek. No, not that guy. The other guy. Sadiq in London, because we all know that he got re-elected back into as London Mayor. And you can argue either way, but I suspect it was a bit of a fix. So if he does get elected, or Rishi Washi, then we know it's a fraud, we know it's a con, because there is no one in this country who actually said to me in any way, shape or form that he is a good PM and he was voted in by them, because he wasn't. Anything that he says at the moment is basically bullshit and probably can be ignored because obviously they have to push it through Parliament. I know that if you watch this video here, it will explain a little bit more.
Disability benefits could be subject to major reforms under recent proposals from the government. The Prime Minister has said he wants to address the rise in the number of people claiming personal independence payments, or PIPs, because of mental health conditions.
So it might make it more difficult for those people to claim the benefit. Our analysis editor, Ros Atkins, has been looking at what's being proposed and what it could mean.
The main disability benefit in England and Wales is called PIP, or Personal Independence Payment, and the government wants to change it.
I believe that now is the time for a new conversation about the benefit system and how it can best support people to live full and independent lives.
And the focus here is mental health.
Since 2019, the number of people claiming PIP, citing anxiety or depression as their main condition, has doubled. It's not clear they have the same degree of increased living costs as those with physical conditions.
PIP is a payment to help people with the extra costs of living with a disability or long-term health condition. It can be awarded to provide support with everyday tasks or getting around, or both. The maximum payment is nearly £800 a month, though most receive far less. And in England and Wales, 3.3 million people are claiming PIP. This is part of an increase in the cost of disability benefits that reaches back decades. PIP, seen here in orange, was introduced in 2013, and the cost of PIP has risen and risen. It's projected to continue to rise through the 2020s. This wasn't the plan. PIP replaced a previous disability benefit. It was intended to reduce the overall cost. The Conservative-led coalition said that would be delivered in part by more rigorous assessments. That was then. This is what's promised now.
A more objective and rigorous approach that focuses support on those with the greatest needs and extra costs.
And Rishi Sunak says at the moment the PIP assessments are often easily exploited and subject to unverifiable claims. I asked the Department for Work and Pensions if it could provide data on how often assessments are exploited. None was made available. And the current system works like this. Claimants initially provide supporting evidence in writing. Sometimes they'll be assessed by a health professional too. But now the government is looking at whether evidence of a clinical diagnosis could provide a more objective assessment of need. In other words, should there be more stringent requirements? In turn, that would make PIP harder to claim. And watching on, disability campaigners are frustrated.
The government have highlighted that they believe disabled people are an expensive problem. I don't think they've really offered anything in the way of a credible solution.
To the government, any credible solution will need to look afresh at mental health. Official statistics show psychiatric disorders, which include a range of mental health conditions, have been the main condition behind nearly 40% of PIP assessments in the past 5 years. The government says the approach to mental health conditions needs to change. Rishi Sunak talks of being more precise about the type and severity of mental health conditions that should be eligible for PIP. And alternatives to PIP are being considered.
When we come to mental health, there is this issue, I think, about whether it's better to give cash payments or to provide appropriate support.
The government points towards the consultation it's launched, to additional investment in NHS talking therapies, and more broadly to its £2.5 billion Back to Work plan. However, this emphasis on work has raised a further concern.
We're also extremely worried that the government are conflating an extra cost payment, PIP, with out-of-work benefits. They're completely different things.
So the second video, very clearly, is a roasting.
Genuinely believe, Mel Stride, that there's just lots of people who are getting fake sickies from doctors and swinging the lead, so to speak, not going to work deliberately.
No, I think there are lots of people, Susanna, who need more support, and with that extra support won't be drifting into what I call a health journey, into these long-term sickness and disability benefits that have been growing so strongly. Now, a lot of health issues today, growing health issues, are around mental health. And what I want to have is a system where instead of somebody going to a GP and in 94% of occasions being signed off as totally incapable of any work whatsoever, that actually a referral is made to Workwell, where they get the healthcare support that they need, but at the same time they're also getting that work coach support that makes sure that we keep people in the workforce, where incidentally we know, of course, that particularly for mental health conditions, work is really good for people. So that's what this is about.
Yesterday I watched a very interesting interview that Ed and Kate did on Good Morning Britain with a woman who needed surgery, hip replacement I think it was, and was told that the waiting list was going to be at least 18 months. She was going to have to wait a year and a half for a hip replacement, which is pretty standard routine surgery. She couldn't do that. She couldn't work. She could not physically work. She couldn't face waiting. It was going to affect her mental health and her physical health. Now, how is a work well job coach going to help somebody in that situation? Is it going to shorten the waiting list for the surgery for her?
Well, what I can't do, obviously, is comment on a specific case because I don't know all the details. But in general terms, if somebody, for example, went to the doctor, let's say they'd had an accident and they were...
let's say you're waiting a year and a half for a hip replacement.
Okay.
And you cannot work. Let's just say you're someone like that. How is a job coach going to help you?
So in these circumstances where you have somebody who has something like that, so has a mobility issue, in general terms, and I can't comment on the specific example, but in general terms, it may well be the case that with adaptations at work, for example, somebody who may currently have to climb some stairs as part of their office routine, if a desk could be relocated, if a taxi could be arranged to get them to work, things can be done to help alongside the support.
And frankly, Mr. Stride, the point I'm getting to is that record lengths of waiting lists are what need to be tackled, not doing a broad sweep of people who could work are just simply out of work because they've chosen not to be in work. The fact of the matter is people cannot get access to mental health support without long waiting lists, and they can't get access to physical health support under the NHS currently because of record long waiting lists.
So the situation, as you will probably know, is that we do have high backlogs, and we've come through COVID, we've had industrial action, there are various reasons why that's happened. Those backlogs have decreased by 200,000 since last September. We've almost eliminated the 18-month wait and the 2-year wait as well. There is more progress that needs to be done. But I don't think that detracts from what Workwell is about, which is an early intervention, as I say, of bringing work-based focused support alongside the healthcare support. And the Chancellor, for example, where we're looking at mental health, which is a lot of the conditions that we're looking at here, announced 400,000 additional talking therapies within the National Health Service. That's exactly the kind of resource that we'll be able to draw upon. So I'm very optimistic about this approach. It's an example of joined-up government between ourselves and the health service, and it's aimed very squarely at keeping people in work and encouraging people to take up jobs where they might not otherwise have the support to do that.
And the third one is the House of Lords discussing PIP and, of course, the rising costs on PIP that they thought that they would be able to save. But to be fair, when you look at the number of people applying for benefits, you have to look at why. And of course, they're not looking at why that's the case. They're just targeting all disabled people, including those with mental health issues.
My Lords, the justification for this statement and the government's plan, repeated by the Noble Viscount the Minister, is that the level of claims have risen significantly since 2009, specifically mental health claims. Since 2009, we've had a global pandemic. The acuteness of the climate emergency has become obvious to everybody. We've had a cost of living crisis. We have a huge crisis of housing. Surely it's not a surprise that we have very poor levels of mental health across our society, and that's a measure of government failure rather than individual responsibility. And does the Noble Lord the Minister acknowledge that there are social determinants of health and that what we have to do is create a healthy society, which this statement makes no reference to? And also, does the government accept the social model of disability, acknowledging that the way in which society is arranged and organised is what truly disables people? And why is there nothing in this statement, not a single reference to what can be done to push employers to actually provide appropriate arrangements for disabled people to allow them to continue to work, rather than focusing on the behaviour of disabled people?
Well, indeed, I know that we've had several sessions across the chamber. That's with me and the noble Baroness Lady Bennet. And can I just say gently that for her to say that all the incidents of mental health that have cropped up are purely to do with the decisions that the government has taken is wholly misrepresents the whole situation. She will know, as I think most of the House will know, that it's much more complex than that. And it's linked to all kinds of issues. For example, the rise in social media and the fact that perhaps more young people are on their phones is talked about a lot. So I think it's something which I may chide her on, to say that I think she might have mentioned that, for example. I think that it allows me also to say, to give one of the reasons why now is the time to look at PIP, and that is the very sobering figures that I've given out sort of slightly earlier, but I want to go a little bit further, which is that if we did nothing, over the coming 4 years, PIP spending alone is forecast to rise by 63%, from £21.6 billion, my lords, to £35.3 billion, my lords, and that would be for the period 2023-24 right up to 28-29. So it is not just about the cost, but it's, as I said earlier, I hope very fairly, that it's very important that we review PIP to be sure that it's directed in the right way, targeted at those who need it most, and it delivers the right sort of support for people with disabilities and health conditions, and also, as I said earlier, does provide better value for the taxpayer.
So the House of Lords there, where obviously the legislation goes through and is discussed. Now obviously we don't know the situation with this whole thing at the moment, but we can guess that they are going to continue down this path because they obviously want to target disabled people, as they normally do. Hope you've enjoyed today's little video, and of course I am pleased to be back, but it's been a bit of a week trying to catch up with everything. Don't forget you can support me various ways such as Patreon. You can do YouTube membership program, you can do PayPal, you can do of course any other method. We do have lots, and if you want to purchase something, just don't want to give money, just money, but you want to give some help, then consider buying a mug or a t-shirt, or even using the affiliate links I have for products and services. You'll find that on my shop page. Hello and welcome, and just a quick hello to you for the new updated website, Andy Wright Shop, where you can find exciting merchandise and a new edition, some other stuff as well. Now obviously this is for people who want to support this channel but are not really happy about giving just money, you want to get something for it. So we can see here we have mugs, t-shirts and affiliate links, which are the option for you to go and benefit from a cheaper rate or whatever, and also for me to receive a commission. Incogni, you've probably heard about that before. So there's Travel Sphere, On the Beach and lastminute.com. Pagoda hopefully coming soon. Let's have a look at the mugs area, which is I've reorganised it so it's easier to find what you need, and of course if you need to, you can go direct to the Spring website, which is my shop page, where you can purchase the actual items. In this case, mugs are $14.99 plus P&P. I've separated them out into 4 areas. So we have travel, new world order, disability and miscellaneous. Find them by clicking on the actual item, the button here. Click on that, it will take you down to the item. You see there, all these mugs are related to travel and Thailand. New world order, so there's some there. There's another one down here, 2 more. And then disability. And then miscellaneous, there's quite a few of those. you see there's some there you may be interested in having. Now let's have a quick look at the t-shirt area. Again, similar in design, gives you the 4 areas. Shirts are now $24.99, not including P&P, so they are all standard price. And you need to go on to the click the button to buy now, which will take you over to the spring page where you can finish the purchase, travel related items, or to do with Thailand or whatever. There are some more to come. We have NWO, and then we've got disability, and then we have miscellaneous ones that don't really fit in anywhere else. And there's some funny ones, and there's some serious ones, and of course any of these are available. They're all high quality, well made, so please do go over to andiewrightshop.co.uk and support the channel. Now we do have other services that you can sign up to, which include Incogni, just in case you're worried about your personal data. Sign up for that, and I do get a small commission. So there is a link down below for all of that in the shop. The other channels, Incogni, and of course the other various platforms I do have: Odyssey, BitChute, Rumble, RTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. Have a very good day, and hopefully it's Thursday today, so hopefully we'll get another video out before Sunday, which obviously is our live stream day. So if you want to join me Sunday afternoon 4 p.m. For a live stream, then we're back on that as of this week. Hello, good day to you. It's me, Andy, and this is Talking Really Sunday Live, and a big invitation to you if you are interested at 4 p.m. on Sundays, the live stream, Sunday Live, Talking Really on these channels, on these platforms. We have RTube, Odyssey, BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube, if you're on any of those, plus of course Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. So if you're on any of those, please do come and join me, and I'll see you Sunday at 4 p.m. That's it for today. Hope you're well, and I'll catch you later.